So hello fellow banknote collectors, this is Glenn, and today we're going to have a look at some Dutch East Indies currency. So it has Netherlandish Indie, so the Netherlands Indies, and this is actually Indonesia now. So all of the territory that this encompassed was included in Indonesia, and it was pretty much run by the Dutch. There's their major overseas possession, because most of the other ones actually lost. Actually, all of the other ones actually lost a lot earlier. Whatever places did they actually control? They used to have some spots in India, but they actually lost all those to the British or French. And not really many in Africa, because they're actually a bit late. Because they actually come to Indonesia roughly about 1600s, same time as the actual Portuguese actually went around there. And anyway, the currency they issued was the gulden, and if you have a look, it actually has Indonesian. So Indonesian is just pretty much a Malay language. It's pretty much Malay actually, the same as Malay. Probably slight differences, and it has lima, poliao, sen. So 50 cent, and they use sen instead of cents, so they use cents. And gulden, they use gulden in Dutch, but in Indonesian they actually use rupiah. So that's where the name of the actual currency comes from the Dutch period, and it's probably just a native word for probably gold or silver. And I just looked it up. It actually comes from the Sanskrit word rupee. And if you know, rupee is actually used in India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal. And that's about it as far as... Oh, no. Maldives. Not Maldives. Rufia, Seychelles, and Mauritius. And it's just a word for silver, actually. So, silver. And these come in the lowest denomination of 50 cents and the highest of 500 gulden. The three I have are actually quite inexpensive to get. If you want to get anything from 25 gulden, 50, 100 or 500, you actually be paying a lot more. So these don't have any watermark or security thread. They have the coat of arms of... Here we have the coat of arms of Dutch Indonesia, and here we have Queen Wilhelmina, and she was actually the reigning monarch of the Netherlands at the time. And as you can see, these are printed in American Banknote Company. They're all dated the 2nd of March 1943, and these wouldn't have been introduced up until 1945-46, because at the time in 1943 the Dutch Netherlands was actually under Japanese control and used the Japanese occupation gulden, which is quite different than this. And these at the end of the war would have been worthless, so these probably would have been introduced pretty much instantaneously. And one of the security features you got is these coloured dots which occur all over the actual banknote. And then we have Mundbill, so banknote. And on the back we just have a declaration. This is probably a specification of the laws that probably relate to counterfeiting. And then we have the 1 gulden. And these actually, the 50 cents, 1 and 2.5 are pretty much the same size. I think the 5 and 10 are actually the same size, and the other ones probably are of a different size. So, pretty much the same. And they're actually quite a nice banknote lot to get. So that these lots here I actually got for about $10, I think, and a few dollars postage. And this one, as you can see, this one's a bit longer. So if we put it together, you can see the actual size difference, and that's to help people who are illiterate and do not actually probably know the numbers, but that's basically all. And it's also good for the blind, but people who are blind could actually get ripped off in those two banknotes there. And then on the back we have the Army, Navy and Air Force. So Dutch soldier, looks like an actual Anzac actually, with the type of hat that it's actually wearing. And this actual reverse occurs on all the other banknotes of the highest denomination. And as you can see, the only security feature are the actual dots. There is no watermark on these banknotes, which is typical for banknotes actually printed in the United States, because if you know a little bit about United States currency, they actually didn't put watermarks up until 1996, and I think in 2004 they actually issued coloured banknotes. Ooh, but the colours are actually not that good on them. And quite frankly, these banknotes are actually better than the United States banknotes, because each side of the obverse is actually a different colour. So these banknotes were legal tender and were not exchangeable into gold itself or silver. Pretty much from the 1930s, banknotes have been legal tender. But certain banknotes in certain countries could have been exchanged for gold or silver, but not these ones. So if we look at some prices, you can see pretty much uncirculated banknotes probably go for about $30. And if you want one that's circulated, the 1 gulden is actually the cheapest, probably about $2 to $5, 50-cent, $3, so roughly $3 for the 50-cent 1 gulden. If you want a 10 gulden, $4, that's in pretty circulated condition. And oh, look at that, $2 for that one. The higher the grade, usually the higher the value you got. So we've got one that's it's probably almost uncirculated or extremely fine, $8. So these are actually pretty common. There would have been a lot of these banknotes printed to displace the actual Japanese currencies in circulation. And $13 for that one, nah, I probably would have paid $1 or $2. $10 for high grade 5 gulden. And if we keep going down, you can see that this year there actually hasn't been anything higher than 10 gulden actually being sold. If I go back to the items for sale, we can see, and I'll put lowest first, so we can see the actual banknotes there. These ones are probably pretty overvalued, so that's why they're still on eBay unsold. So I doubt it very much they'll actually sell. 2.5, 10, 50 cent. No, I personally would not buy any of these. They're just overpriced as far as I'm concerned. And so here is a 50 gulden, and as you can see, it has nearly 24 American dollars, or about 37.5 Australian dollars. It's actually in pretty circulated condition, pretty low grade. So if you actually want an uncirculated one, I would expect that you probably pay between $100 or $200 for a banknote of that value. And here we have a 50 gulden uncirculated, or almost uncirculated, $171. So it's pretty nearly accurate in that one, between $100 and $200. That was just a ballpark. So if you want an uncirculated one, probably double what this actual banknote is. I would say probably about $300. And down on the bottom of the list we have 25 gulden. Doesn't seem to be as common a banknote as the lower denominations. And I actually have not seen any 100 or 500 gulden. So actually pretty rare. Well, not rare, pretty scarce. So we've got 222 and 392 for when it's pretty uncirculated. Very fine. So this banknote series actually gets very expensive. And after this series was issued, the Javanese Bank, which was the main banknote printer actually and supplier, resumed issue up until Indonesian formal independence in 1949, although they did declare independence, which was in 1945. Oh, wow. Anyway, so that is the Dutch East Indies gulden banknotes and their actual values. I hope this helps you with your collecting of banknotes. Just to remember, if you're going to buy a 50 cent, $3 to $5, pretty common banknote. This one, same $3 to $5 for a good one I'm talking about. Lower value for a crap one. For a banknote like this, $5 to $10 for a good banknote. The same to 10 gulden. And 25 and up, it actually gets very expensive. So, I hope you like this banknote series. I do. And have an awesome banknote collecting time. I want to say thank you very much for watching my video. I'll leave links down below to Dutch banknotes on eBay. And also, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Doesn't matter what comment you would leave, I'll actually answer it. Unless you wanting to flog something off and leave a phone number, I'll just delete it. Anyway, have an awesome time. Thank you and bye-bye.